Welcome Bronco Nation to another exciting video. Today we are talking about Boise State Esports. Some of you may be very, very excited about this video, and some of you may be going, what's esports? Well, we're going to help answer all of those questions today. There's stuff here for everybody. This is going to be an exciting discussion. I have a Boise State Esports player with me as well to my left here, Cade, call sign Woozy on gamertag. You can also find him on his Twitter at Woozy World as well. And then I'm also going to be having the coach of the esports team join me as well. And we're going to have video footage of the facility and tours. It's going to be fantastic. So I am so excited. This is definitely something different, unique, that we haven't done on the channel before. It's a fantastic opportunity to help promote something that is really taking off. And just to kind of set the stage here for some of you guys that, again, aren't that familiar with esports, esports is an institution that is taking off worldwide. It's a $1.63+ billion industry globally right now. And Boise State, as I found out in my tour here today, is one of the front runners of those. They've won over 1,300 games, they have multiple national championships, conference championships, and it's an exciting time to be a Boise State fan, of course, with everything else that's going around with the program, but also to be a Boise State esports player and fan. So thanks so much, Cade, for, I guess, coming on. It's not my stage space. Obviously, we're in the esports facility, so I guess I should thank you for coming into your space here. But thanks for being part of this today, man.
No, absolutely. I always enjoy spreading the word of esports to people.
Yeah, well, talking about spreading the word of esports, man, when did you first know that esports was something that you wanted to pursue? That that wasn't just a casual hobby anymore. You wanted to pursue it, and what did you do to elevate your game?
I mean, like many people, I I played video games throughout my entire childhood. But I would say when I was 16 in 2022, actually going to an in-person esports event, going to a world championship, I realized this is a real possibility to not only get an education, but also be the best at something. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And it caused me to, one, elevate myself academically. I knew I had to stay focused in my junior and senior year of high school to actually not have to rely on my talent for esports. People will love me more if they know I'm reliable academically. But then also, me going to those in-person events made me realize, okay, this is what I need to work on. That definitely elevated me.
So were you just the friend that nobody could beat when they were playing video games?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
What's your game of choice?
So I compete in Rocket League. So Rocket League is, for those of you who don't know, is virtual car soccer. 2 teams, 5 minutes, whoever scores more goals wins. I play car soccer. So
obviously, this isn't something that everybody just does, right? So when you told your parents that's hey, I want to pursue this at a collegiate level, what was the response of your family and friends, your support group there?
Thankfully, they were very supportive. Maybe not initially. They were more confused than anything. They weren't combative. They weren't coming at me like you're throwing your life away. They were definitely supportive, but confused. I think it wasn't until I played in multiple high school recruitment leagues, and I got put into an article as a top recruit thing, and that's when my parents, specifically my dad was like, oh, okay, it's serious. He's not just joking around with me. So I would say that's when they switched. Plus, like I said, I was good academically, so they were like, well, Cade did all of his homework.
Right? So you can play you did all your homework, you can play video games at Boise State. Okay. So talking about that transition to Boise State, obviously, and we were talking before this, you were actually recruited by the school. So can you talk about what that recruitment process was like and how you decided that you wanted to come play for Boise?
I mean, so like I said, I went to these in-person events starting in 2022, and I realized that this is something that I could do. In that time, I started competing in amateur and semi-professional settings, and I kind of got my name out there a little bit. People started realizing that I was placing decently well in these events, and that led to me, making new friends and friends with people that are connected within the collegiate and professional scene. And through that, I met this guy. His name's Emiliano. And Emiliano, who is a year above me at Boise State, was like, "You ever thought about playing collegiate ball?" And I was like, it might be time. it might be time to, not only try and play in the professional circuit, but also dabble in the collegiate circuit. Because I knew I wanted to go to college.
Right.
For some people, they question whether or not college is for them. I had intentions on going to college regardless if I competed or not.
Right.
So Emiliano introducing me to the collegiate landscape beyond just being a spectator made me realize, like, okay, maybe I can get in somewhere. And then I continue to grind, I continue to practice. And not long after, so like very beginning of my senior year, he was like, I put in the good word to the director. He said he'd love to have a conversation from you, and that was my foot in the door. That was, as soon as I did that, I realized, like, all right, I have a real shot at actually getting to commit somewhere big.
So obviously going to college to play something, whether it's esports or it's an on-field athletic activity, it's not something you come in fully rounded and just ready for the next level right away. So what have you done? What has Boise State helped do to help elevate your game? What have you learned here, both at a personal level and at a professional level, that has helped elevate who you are and what your game is?
I would say it goes way beyond just my profession. Like, I would say it goes way beyond the game. I think Boise State, more than anything, the program itself has taught me to be just a more professional person. It has taught me to be a more well-rounded person. Having these responsibilities of competing at a high level forces me to be disciplined with not only my time, but just how I manage, different tasks, whether that be academically or competition related. So I think Boise State definitely helps me with that. They give me a good sense of structure. But also, like, in the game, these resources are something that I obviously never have access to in my childhood bedroom. That's something that you only get. you get a little extra benefits whenever you come to an institution like this. So that also benefits me.
Yeah. And to give people kind of an idea here, and I'll kind of show this footage as well, like what we're working with. And we're going to do, like I said, a tour of the full facility. But I mean, this is just an incredible space that they have got going on here. But this is just an incredible space that Boise State has here. And we were talking beforehand that this is not the norm. Like, and what you are seeing on this video, what you're going to see on this video, is not the norm across collegiate athletics when it comes to esports. So can you talk about that, about being involved in a program that is supported so well by university, and even how you've seen it grow in your short time here?
Absolutely. I mean, not everybody gets the opportunity to compete within, this top of the line facility. It was one of the selling points for me, actually. I was like, I love the idea that the organization that I'm going to play for actually is invested in me and cares about me, not just, oh, we'll let you wear the name tag. We'll let you, be, kind of represent us. No, they're all in on us. Boise State Esports was all in ever since 2017, I believe. And ever since then, they've supported their students through and through. And I'm proud to say I am no exception. They care about not only me, my teammates, and you can see that through not only our, computer stations themselves, top of the line products all the way around. You also see that through the staff at the facility, and then you also see it in just the connections that they give us.
Well, that's awesome that Boise State recognizes the potential of this industry. This just Boise State's version of this. The esports has been around for 7+ years. So, I mean, coming up on almost a decade, 8 years now, almost a decade of Boise State esports. So getting to be one of those first classes to help kind of set the foundation. I mean, what is, last kind of couple questions here. What does that kind of mean for you personally to be part of that, laying the foundation of what hopefully will become, a key part of this institution going forward?
I mean, for me, I think it's super exciting to be a pioneer of any industry. It's one thing to be the best at something that is already created, but it is even cooler, in my opinion, to be building something, to be a part of something that is, treading into unmarked territory. I think it's amazing because I've seen what we started at, and I can only imagine what not only the program, but the esports scene as a whole will be as soon as I graduate and, in years to come. I've always talked about it, like my younger brothers and stuff like that. Like they are set up. They are set up really well. Like this industry is only going to continue to grow, and I'm proud to say that I was a part of it when it first started.
Oh, that's awesome. This is definitely an exciting part. Kind of we talked about before, getting to break that ground, being part of the tip of the spear for hopefully will be a new and exciting part of Boise State athletics. So thank you so much for coming on, or for having me come on and do this, man. This was a great discussion, and we wish you nothing but success. Are you guys in your competitive season right now?
Yes. So we're just starting. We're just starting. We call it like the 6 weeks of chaos.
Nice.
October, like very beginning of October through like Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It's chaos, but it's controlled chaos, and I enjoy the activity.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for coming and for doing this, man. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
So again, we're looking here at the championship trophies, the titles here. How you said we've got 12 Mountain West championships and 4 nationals. What the national championships then?
So we've got an Overwatch championship, 2 Madden national championships, and then I think our fourth one was in Rocket League. It was before I got here. It was pretty early on in the program. That was our one of our earlier ones. Our Madden one was our breakthrough. We won 2 in the same year. It was crazy. I was in the facility when it happened as a student, actually, and it was just nuts. It was one of those ones where it's like, holy cows, this is the ascension. This is the ascension of kind of going from a very, very good program to, oh, we got a natty, and then the same kid ended up winning another one like 2 weeks later in a different competition, and we were like, oh, this is real. This is crazy. So yeah, 2 natties, and then we won. This was our biggest one that we've won. Overwatch. This was a huge accomplishment for our program, to go and win an Overwatch national championship in a title that's so established, and against such high level of competition. That was a big deal for us.
So who are the other challengers? If we can keep working here.
Sure, yeah.
But who are the other challengers here for Boise State in this conference, the Mountain West?
You know, we've seen some of the same schools. Oh yeah, some of the same schools have been good, that you would normally think of in traditional athletics, and then there's also schools like San Jose State's been really good in a lot of things. San Diego State has a fantastic Rocket League team, really, really talented. UNLV has traditionally had a ton of success as well. So it's just each title kind of depends. It's kind of the best way we describe it is track and field, right? Doc used that analogy earlier. Different schools have different specialties. We've been lucky to have a lot of different specialties here. But different schools have had different specialties throughout the Mountain West for sure.
So can you talk to me again about that transition for this program from starting in a classroom and then a library to all of this?
You know, it's been kind of surreal. I was a student. I was an undergrad student. I came into this doing commentary myself, honestly, and it's been surreal to see what the university has wanted to do with this program, right? Bob Kusher said we wanted to be the Alabama of esports, and the university has taken that to heart. It's pretty incredible to see how they've said, okay, there's an opportunity to do something incredible. Let's do it. And so we went from, like I said, Doc's classroom in the education building. Now we moved into the library on the second floor, and then we took one part of this building, and it's just kind of slowly grown and grown and grown. And now we have the whole bottom floor of this space on Front and Capitol. When I came back to start my job 2 months ago here, this program had changed so much. I worked in college athletics for a couple of years in the Midwest, and I came back and I was like, oh my gosh, what? This is crazy. It just it blew up like crazy. And I'm so thankful to have been a part of it, but to see how, going from President Kustra and now to President Trump, there's such a love and investment in what we've done. So it's pretty cool.
So what other universities compare with Boise State and the levels that we're doing here? Like we had to talk with standing, Boise State towards the top right, but what other schools are also kind of building at this same pace?
It's interesting because there's some at the Division I level that are doing it, and then there's some at lower levels, traditional athletic levels, that are doing it at a pretty impressive level as well. So I think a really good example of maybe a school that's maybe traditionally smaller that maybe even some of your viewers haven't heard of, Maryville University is a really good example of this, right? They're a school in St. Louis that have done some pretty incredible things. They've won a lot of national championships. They've won professional events too. It's pretty crazy to kind of see what they've built. But then I look at schools like Ohio State. They've put a pretty big investment. Syracuse has put a huge investment into what they're doing. They're building out an incredible staff over there. I think that as more of these schools, and you'll see our schedule later, I'll send you that graphic. You'll have it and I'm sure all your viewers will get to see it too. A lot of traditional Power 5 schools have said, oh, this is something we can really do. I think a really neat example was seeing Michigan State invest into just a super high-end facility in their student union building and just give it some serious prominence. seeing they have a contract with Alienware. And Alienware in Michigan State created this beautiful space, and their students love it, and it's popped off at their school. And now all of a sudden, like, they care, right? They've really started to invest and do some pretty neat things.
So what has been kind of final question here? What has been the student response to this? You know, the rise of esports and the Boise State student perspective. Do they come in and engage with you guys as well? Is it something that they're excited for as well?
Yes, our students love it. You know, we do like a Halloween party every year. We do all sorts of different things with our students, and I think that the coolest thing is when students come down here on like on a tour or something, or it's part of like homecoming week or something, and they say, we didn't even know this was here. Wait, we can come and do this? Oh, this is free? You know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, this is built into the student experience for them, and we're really excited to continue to welcome students down here. They love it. Our students that are actually playing love, you know, kind of interacting with those students and, you know, the student organizations and stuff on campus. It's really cool to see.
All right, welcome back, Bronco Nation. I hope you all enjoyed that tour of the facility. This has just been an incredible time here, and I'm completely blown away by the amount of support that Boise State is giving to this very exciting new enterprise here. Again, a front runner in the collegiate world in that sense. Again, I hope you all enjoyed that tour in the facility that's here. It is a little awing to be here, and now I get to get that doubled because I'm now in the presence of the head coach of the Boise State Esports team. Again, this is a very, very successful program, over 1,300 wins, just total over 4 national championships, 12 Mountain West Conference titles, 21 total conference titles. So thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
This is amazing having you in our studio. We're fans of what you do, so having you here is kind of surreal. You're not in that corner. Well, you are. I guess we're
right.
Also in the corner.
Sure, yeah.
A different room.
Right.
Different background. But we should get you one of these in your studio.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'd like this, the running blue on the walls. This would be great. I think my wife would totally approve that.
She'd be fine.
She'd be fine.
I'll write you a doctor's note.
Okay, yeah, we'll be good to go. Well, thanks so much for coming on, or I guess for having me on, because this is your space here. So this is an exciting time for Boise State Esports, 8th year of the program. It's on a very high trajectory. Just for anybody that's not familiar with esports, if you were kind of giving them the selling point, the pitch on what Boise State Esports is, what would you tell them? What is Boise State Esports?
I mean, gosh, here's the deal. I mean, they know what it is, right? I mean, they don't know what it is, but they know, right? It is preparing for competition on a really high level against the Mountain West, against other top programs in the U.S. It's collegiate teams facing off against other collegiate teams. The difference, the fundamental difference, is the playing field. Ours is digital, where the Broncos are on the blue.
Right.
I mean, that really is it. But I mean, it's recruiting, it's practice, it's playbooks, it's training, it's comms, it's film study, it's travel, and getting your mind right, ready to go again. It's being a good teammate. It's all the things that we know about sports. It's just in a game that they may not know, like Rocket League or Overwatch or Valorant.
Well, one other difference is that compared to maybe some of those other sports that are out there, this is a relatively new program, but it's in its 8th year. So can you talk about how Boise State Esports got started and how you've seen it grow over the last 8 years?
You bet. The origin story is best for me as a haiku. Count your syllables at home. It is professor, research, esports is going to be huge. Oh, crap. I'm in charge. I started I've been here 18 years as a faculty member in the College of Ed. I taught teachers games and simulations. Ready Player One, before Ready Player One was kind of the work that I was doing, and just took a quick little toe dip into, I wonder what's happening in esports, and became very clear that it was about to get really massive, and there was this once-in-a-lifetime kind of gold rush opportunity. Took it forward through the college. It eventually ended up on Bob Custer's desk, and he uttered the now infamous words that we're going to be the Alabama of esports, and it has not slimmed since then. It's just been full speed.
Well, here for all the viewers at home, on my desk right here, we have some evidence of that being the Alabama of esports here. This is very, very impressive. And you don't just get to a program like that without the players. The players, obviously the coaches, and you need the money and the institutional support. But at the end of the day, it's the players that are actually making the plays. So talking about that recruiting process for bringing in the right players and the right teammates to be part of this program.
You bet. And I'm so glad that you said it, because it really is. I mean, elite players win games. Coaches don't win games. Elite players win games, and getting them to elite is our job, keeping them as high and close to elite as we can. But it starts with recruiting. So you met Woozy, you met Cade Hall, an amazing player that we became interested in first as, oh, he's a pretty good player. As soon as we met him, we were like, no, he's an even better person. And I mean, that's what happens actually over in the rest of the athletic part of what we do in the Varsity Center and the Blameyer Center. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It must be nice having a name on a building. And it is finding the best possible people, because it requires the best people to get and stay at elite. It just so happens that they're really good at the game, but they're elite at the other things that they do. But we search nationally and internationally for the best high school players who are at that pro grade, pro tier, who are coming to college. We do not look for pro players who have been in the pro sphere for a while, try to convince them to be good students. We want that great student moving into the college sphere because they want the college experience. It's a big part of it.
I imagine that a lot of esports, even in the team events, but just the play styles are very individualistic. There's a lot of different things that makes a successful player.
Yeah.
So what are some of the hurdles of a coach or challenges of being a coach with such a widely varying degree of play styles from your athletes?
So, I mean, Coach Kelsey Mosier, who's 10 years as a pro in the Pro League of Legends scene for Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves. Some of you may know those names. Is our other in-person coach here, and our job is to get our players to engage and teach each other and communicate around what they know, so that they don't, as they often do when they're playing by themselves, try to do everything. Right? Your best and what you do is enough. If we have 3 great players or 5 great players who are just doing their job, not to quote Belichick, but there's a lot of truth in just getting people willing to really just focus and do their job and not try to do every little piece. I don't know if that answered your question fully, but
oh, it does. I mean, obviously, what we're going at here is, what are you doing, the coaching staff here, doing to equip, train, and empower the athletes to succeed here? So, if you were to answer that, what are those 3 areas? What are you doing to help elevate the game and level of the players here?
A big part of it is keeping it in balance. So, believe it or not, I mean, a lot of parents are like, well, I have a problem getting my child to stop playing the game. I'm like, well, we kind of don't, because it's 20 hours, right? And they've got school and they've got family, and some of them, go on dates and things like that. I mean, they've got a social life. So we have to make sure that the time that we use is not just throwing empty hours at playing, but actually, okay, here's what we're here to do today. Here's the scrimmage that we're going to do. Here's the partner that we're going to do. That's the nice thing about digital sports, really, esports, is that we can have a scrimmage against Lubbock Christian or Ole Miss or some of these other great programs without leaving campus, right?
Wow.
We can just gear up with them. So it really is about planning and coordinating their work, making sure that we're preparing toward the right things, that we improve every day. I mean, I'm sure some of this, sounds very familiar. Right. Coach, Danielson talks about this all the time, and it really is about bringing your best in the time you're together and getting the most out of the time that you can, and then making sure that they're fed and cared for and prepared. I mean, I talk about this all the time. We'll be on a championship stage, and I am the highest educated water boy of all time, right? With the doctorate, I'm the one filling water bottles, because that's my job, is to make sure that they're ready to play and that they don't have any distractions and that they can focus on what they're there to do. And if that means I'm standing in line at the water cooler to fill a couple of bottles, that's what you do.
Well, where is the trajectory of Boise State Esports going? Obviously, it's already elevated. I know earlier I was talking with Riley about this, and he was saying you guys started in a classroom, and then you moved to the library, and now you moved to this incredible space here. So obviously, you guys are on a great trajectory right now. But where do you see it going from here? What's the next steps, next level for this program?
I mean, at the core of what our athletic director Jeremiah Dickey does over there, it is preparing really talented students to do the thing that they do well. That's kind of, I think, the trajectory in some way, somehow, and we're already connected in many other ways. I see us being connected to some part of what athletics does. They're so good at what they do. They're so good at academic advising and getting students in and recruiting trips. And I mean, they do everything so well over there. We can and do learn a lot from them. So I think that that's a natural step. But I eventually, as cool as this place is, and you know, as your viewers just saw the tour, we're outgrowing it already.
Wow.
Probably there's some building and a capital improvement project in the works. There's a donor out there. There's a Boise State donor who may have children or grandchildren who have no interest in playing football, softball, volleyball. It doesn't matter, but they love esports, and they're like, I want to put my name on a building.
Right.
I know that person's out there, or those folks, and we're going to meet them and do something cool like that.
Well, along the lines of Bronco Nation buying in and supporting here, how can Bronco Nation plug in, support, and participate in the current esports world right now, Boise State, and the growth of this program?
Well, I mean, anybody can walk in off the street and watch any of our matches. We play 4 and 5 nights a week. I mean, if you stop by at 6 p.m. any weeknight during the school year, you're going to find us playing something. We play on our stage, and broadcast all of it. They can tune in on YouTube or Twitch or any one of the ways that our stuff gets broadcast all over the place and participate that way. It's Greg Patton for a long time. I think the winningest collegiate tennis coach of all time from Boise State. He's amazing. Coach Patton's amazing. But anybody could walk up at any time and just watch a practice, watch a game, and I just love that philosophy. So we just encourage people to swing by. We're on the busiest intersection in the state. It's not like they can miss us. Although many people are like, oh, that's what's in here. Yeah.
Well, Bronco Nation, this is an incredible space. I would definitely encourage all of you, if you get a chance. This is just right off of the Main Street area. I mean, I parked in a parking garage that was 2 minutes away. So I highly encourage everyone, if you're in the area and you're walking by around, evening on a weekday and you want to kind of see some great collegiate sports in a different light that you haven't experienced before, I would highly encourage everybody to come check out this facility. It's an incredible facility. Check it out for yourself. And I'll put links as well to the YouTube channel here for Boise State Esports, to their Twitter, to Cade's Twitter as well.
Yeah, we'll give them Cade's cell phone number and just put it on here. That'll be fine.
Call the number on the screen today. No, I was kidding. But thanks so much for having me here to be able to experience this. This was incredible. This was awesome. This was, again, a very unique opportunity, but I'm always looking for new ways to help promote and build up Boise State, and this was another great one. So again, Bronco Nation, check out all the socials that I'm putting the links in the description right now. Make sure you come by and check out the facility if you have a chance, and just let us know in the comments, what your thoughts were on this video, on the direction here of the Boise State Esports program. And thanks so much for being part of this, watching all the way to the end. Thanks so much, Coach, for coming on. Thanks so much to Cade for being part of this as well, and for opening up your guys' home for me to check it out.
Of course, happy to do it. Love it. Love that you're here. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Thanks so much for having me on. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and go Big Blue!